on, dudes and dudettes? Let me try to fix the lighting because this video is definitely going up a lot later than normal. But yes, trying to get through this news already because I'm pretty sure there's going to be more news coming out, especially of Lakerland. That's what most of this video is going to be about, because there's even more news that kept happening today. So yes, I'm gonna say that for the last part of the video because get through this real quick. So more Duke news. So the other star freshman, Cam Reddish, decided to leave and go for the NBA. Honestly, he could have stayed another year, but I don't think being surrounded by so much talent is really beneficial for him, because it didn't work this year, and it's obviously not going to work next year because of how many good guys are coming in. Yeah, he would still probably be a starter, but just not be able to continue to show growth in his game. Excuse me. So I think it's best for him just to go to the NBA, where it's more spread out, more options for him to go off screens, play the way he's supposed to be playing, and not be so confined in a small area like how the college game is. So good luck to him. And also the other videos I put up a few days ago were RJ Barrett leaving as well, so good luck to him. And Trey Jones is officially staying, and of course it's big for Duke because you always need a veteran-esque type of point guard, quotation marks, because I mean, even though it's his second year, he's still going to be better. I mean, he was a great high school player, especially scoring wise, but being able to facilitate the ball as well is one of his better traits. So I hope he can bring that to the type of talent that's coming in next season. And then another little drop of Grayson Allen news that yes, he did get 40 points the other day on the very last game of the season for the Utah Jazz against the Clippers, and it was in LA. And I know it was a game where I was looking at because, like, well, he was my favorite Duke player to play there, and he is going to be in LA, but it's like, they might not even play him, who knows. And of course they played him. He started and scored 40 points, one of only 2 rookies this whole entire season to score 40 points in a game, obviously the other Trae Young. But yeah, it was just awesome for him to see. Hopefully he gets more rotation in the playoffs. They do got a tough matchup in the Houston Rockets, so good luck to them. And then other USC basketball news coming out the other day today, that Kevin Porter Jr., their star freshman, there was kind of talks that he might come back. He might want to stay for his sophomore season at USC, but turns out he's going to go to the NBA draft. Kind of hard when you're a top 15 projected player, and he did sign with Jay-Z's sports agency. So of course, once you officially do that and you're in college, then you automatically have to go to the NBA no matter what. So congrats to him, good luck to him. Definitely be looking for him. Could be a nice landing spot in the 11th spot that the Lakers have, but I'll get to that later, where they're going to be landing in the draft most likely. But yes, let's keep on going. So some USC football news. Not very much to come out. It's pretty good, so there's not that much trouble going on over there. But Pale Naotiote, the linebacker for USC, the sophomore, says he wants to be the best linebacker to ever play there. It's always great news, especially coming from the linebacker position, because tradition at USC, there's always been one of the linebackers to always wear number 55. Junior Seau wore it. Also, Willie McGinnis wore it as well. And even my time when I first started watching USC, it was Keith Rivers. But ever since then, there really hasn't been any guy to be worthy enough to be that and be named the best linebacker during his time at USC. So he definitely has the ability. You could just see it in his freshman year until he got his head banged up a little bit towards the end of the season. But they definitely switched him over to a different position to where he's able to run around more and do a lot more stuff with his abilities. And it's just going to be awesome to see what he can do this year as long as he stays healthy. Then another USC linebacker in Cameron Smith. He did work out for the Chargers the other day, which is awesome because I think he's one of the better linebackers that isn't really talked about just because he's not really fast or anything like that. But I think this is what's more important when it comes to the linebacker position at times, especially in the NFL. is how smart you are, and he's very smart. He had a great USC freshman season, and he just progressed every single year and got even better, especially in the run-stopping game, in my opinion, the past 2 years. But he's definitely a guy you could probably pick up late, maybe 3rd to 4th round, because he's projected like 5, 6, or 7. So if you could get him around those rounds, he's definitely a steal, in my opinion. So just gonna have to look forward to that. And the Chargers preseason schedule came out. So obviously it's just 4 games, and it's same usual suspects, the NFC West. So you'll get Arizona, Seahawks, 49ers, and I believe they threw in the Saints because they played them last year as well. Should be interesting to see. Get some pretty talented teams that bolstered up their offenses and defenses, and looking to get even better during the draft as well. So it'll be a nice litmus scale to see what the Chargers look like after those 4 games. Then they also signed a long snapper in Cole Mazza. I believe he's out of Alabama. And they already have a long snapper, but I guess just competition as always. Anthony Lynn, the head coach, likes that, just competition everywhere, even in the long snapping position. So that'll be interesting to see who comes out of that. Then also the Chargers did work out officially Drew Lock, my favorite quarterback, the other day, which obviously is something I'm really high on, and a player I'm really high on actually. And it would be amazing if he somehow dropped all the way to 28, which I doubt it because he's projected to get higher. I obviously keep talking about it, but I just think he's going to be something special, especially in the Chargers offense, but that's just my opinion. They would have to make a trade, obviously, to go up and get him, but obviously they're just not going to do it. They never do that, really, ever. And the Anaheim Ducks officially get their lottery projections to where they're going to pick. They're number 9, I believe. It's pretty crazy because they sucked out most of the year, but yet I think those last few wins ended up pushing them a little bit higher than a little bit of a lower pick. But either way, you can still get a game-changing player in your franchise in a top 10 pick. They could also trade out, get more picks for later, so you just never know. At least something to look forward to as far as Anaheim Ducks news. But let's get into this freaking Laker news, all right? There's enough of this Laker news, but let's get into it real quick. This might have to be done in a few things because there's just so much to remember about what the heck happened. So yes, the best thing for the Lakers is probably that Magic Johnson left. Just the way that he did it is probably not as professional as he probably should have, but he just knew that he couldn't get the job done as soon as he thought. He just wants to go back to having fun and being Magic Johnson was what he kept saying. But to be in that type of job, the president of an NBA team, you can't still try to do all your other ventures because he does have, you know, high stakes ownage in the Dodgers and all this other stuff. So the guy was already way busy before he came to the Lakers. Did he leave it off better than when he found it? Yeah, somewhat, but it's just, he just had to get out because he wasn't gonna spend 18 hours a day doing his job when he really wanted to go off and hang out with the Dodgers or something like that. So just kind of glad that he parted ways. But he did want to fire, apparently he did want to fire both Rob Pelinka and Luke Walton. Rob Pelinka, I don't mind him firing, but we'll get into that later. And he did have authorization to fire Luke Walton, I believe from Jeannie Buss, because Jeannie Buss kept wanting to stop him the past year or so because he wanted to get somebody in there that's his own guy. And maybe that's just another reason why he couldn't want to he didn't want to continue because he never had the last say and couldn't make his own decisions that he wanted. So might as well just leave it up to Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka to take the fall for getting rid of Coach Luke Walton if that ends up happening. But they also did let go of a certain important piece of information, that their athletic trainer Marco Nunez, they did let him go, which is pretty surprising, but not really, because ever since he's taken over the helm, since Gary Vitti took off and retired, that a lot of these Laker players, especially the younger ones, kept getting injured a lot. And yeah, it could have been just because of how their bodies were before, but they did get injured a lot and weren't able to come back fully healthy. And there's a lot of like surprises of injuries that nobody knew about. And if you're the main athletic trainer, you think you'd be on top of that, especially if you're working for the Lakers. So they're definitely gonna have to look for that as well. And there was also some weird news that there was some back channel news that Anthony Davis, who they've been trying to get, is really high on Luke, and he actually likes Luke as a coach. But then the news came out way earlier today that the Lakers and Luke Walton have mutually agreed to part ways. So obviously he's not the head coach anymore, and Rob Pelinka is still there. The one guy I didn't want there is still there, but it's just amazing how things work out. And yeah, I mean, he has other options. The UCLA job is gone, but I'm pretty sure University of Arizona, where his alma mater, could be available if he wanted to go the college route. I know the Sacramento Kings are really high on him, and they have a lot of very good young talent to play in his type of offense. They just don't have that much veterans, but he can do a lot of good with that team if he really wanted to. That's what he wants to do, is still be a head coach in the NBA. But yeah, good luck to him. Tough news to hear earlier, but yeah, we'll just see how this goes. I just hope it's not Tyronn Lue, like how I've been saying. But yeah, let me just get the other information to finish this video real quick. The little tidbits of Lakers news. So the Lakers did stop Lonzo Ball from having a secret surgery. Basically, he was gonna go have it on his own by himself without consulting the Lakers organization, which obviously to me is a red flag, because nobody ever knew how serious his injury was, because he was hiding it, and they want you to use their own doctors, obviously not their athletic trainers, but their doctors are some of the best as far as that comes to the Lakers. But it's another red flag. I think he should be gone, since Magic Johnson isn't there anymore, who told him he wanted his jersey up in the rafters when he retired. So I just hope he's gone. He gets some value, whether it's another type of player or another draft pick as well. That's just my opinion, because you kind of have to move on from a guy like that. Then how I mentioned before that the Lakers are projected to get the 11th pick in the draft, because I guess that's just how the scenarios work. For some reason they won't end up in 5 through 10, which is surprising, but they have the highest chance of getting the number 11 pick, which is okay. It's still right up there. It's not in the back end like 12, 13, 14, but you can get a solid player, in my opinion, there, and still build around him. Might need to be a shooter. Guys that could be available there, like a Kobe White from North Carolina, Brandon Clark also from Gonzaga. Those are two guys that are, at least in that area, that I really like. Even Kevin Porter Jr. as well, that I mentioned from USC earlier. So that could be very interesting. And one of my favorite free agents coming this summer, Kemba Walker. The report came out that he's definitely not sure if he wants to still be in Charlotte, just because of how everything came out. I mean, in his very last game, they tried to get into the playoffs and he couldn't, and he scored like over 40 points to try to will his team, and it just didn't work out. So I think he's definitely looking to part ways with them at the end of the summer, basically. I know he's a Brooklyn kid, so he might end up going to Brooklyn, because they could still pay him a lot of the same amount of money that the Lakers can. But if he wants to really win, I would assume he would want to come play with LeBron, because he really has no problem with LeBron. And they say that the Lakers are going to strike out anyways on guys like Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi Leonard, that they're somehow not going to get them. So he's the next tier of guys. So I just think it's a match made in heaven, and obviously a guy that I'm really high on. But have to wait and see. And then during the season, I guess KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, stopped a trade to, I don't know if it was Washington or Chicago at the time, for Jabari Parker, that the Lakers were interested in seeing what he could do. And Jabari Parker for the Wizards did play really well for them, that I've seen towards the end of the season, so it could have been a nice pickup. Obviously a guy out of Duke, so I'm very high on him, but he did have consecutive, like I think out of his 4 years, like 3 times having surgery on his knees, which is insane. But you know, good luck to him. He's going to be a free agent as well. And thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think about this whole crazy Lakers fiasco. Hopefully there's not more news, but I'm pretty sure there is going to be more crappy news about the Lakers situation. And hopefully they make a good pick on their draft pick, and hope everything else goes well. So thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.